Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the video. And in this video, I'm just going to be going over, a dream world where Epic reaches out to me and says, "Hey, Sweaty6, I want you to create a competitive meta. You can change anything you want. Send us a list, and that's it. And here's the list I'm going to be going over. So let me know your opinions on them. If you think something that shouldn't be added, comment below. And I'm up to have a chat about it. And if you agree with everything, then I don't know, just let me know you agree with everything. So let's start off with the weapons. We're going to be focusing on the shotgun meta first, because I think the shotgun meta is definitely one of the most important metas in terms of if this season's going to be enjoyable or not. So I think the best shotgun for competitive is something like the Stark season, where the primary weapon is something that is very skillful, where if you eliminate your opponent, it's because you outplayed them, not because of the weapon, but because of your skill in terms of aiming, building, editing, piece control, movement, and all the other factors that go into, a Fortnite fight. So you outplayed them because of that, and you use the weapon that kind of coexist or like helps out the building and the editing, and like it kind of all just meshes together. And when you die or you get eliminated, it isn't because of somebody abusing a weapon, it's because your opponent either outplayed you or you fucked up, and that's it. Or obviously there's lag and all the other shit that might happen as well. But I think some type of weapon like the striker, the pump, the charge, or maybe even the lever. I kind of like the lever. It was like an in-between striker and attack. It was kind of nice. But there also should be secondary shotguns. Something that fits into a different play style, just so you don't force all players into one play style. Because if let's say I love hopping into the box. I love the tac shotguns. I like the drum. I like the auto. I like that diving into the box and just. Of course, you do have to be accurate with the tac and accurate with those shots. So maybe you have the tac shotgun, it's back in the game. Instead of 8 shots or 10 shots, I can't even remember how many shots there are. There's 5. Actually, was there 5 shots? I honestly can't remember. However many tac shots, there's less now, but it's still like the base damage is increased, and it's like, you can 3 tac, 4 tac somebody. So you can still get into the box and you still have that W key playstyle, but you can get punished with the striker or the pump. Now, the striker and the pump's downfall is that if you miss your shot, or if you hit them for you hit them in the ear or the toe or whatever, then you're going to have to wait until the shotgun, pumps back again, or the cooldown, and then that's where the guy with the tac can come in and end up winning the fight. So there's like drawbacks of each weapons, and the shotguns kind of like perfectly go against each other, which I think is very balanced. Next, moving on to the SMG. Oh, sorry, one more thing for the shotgun meta. I want there to be one shotgun on the map, either the highest rarity, so gold, or a mythic drop that does 200 damage, because it is more accurate to hit a smaller target, 100% accurate smaller target, than it is to spray with a combat SMG and hit 10 shots. So I think that is just a good way to make, like a tilted or a Stark or somewhere where there's one shotgun, so not even 2, just one shotgun, where you can hit for a 200 pump. Next, moving on to the SMG meta. I think an SMG meta that is mainly used just to pressure a box. So that's what the SMG should be used for. It should be for pressuring, and something that is more accurate than the assault rifle in terms of hip fire bloom that you should switch to after landing a shotgun shot. So if I get in a box, I could hit someone 175. I should switch to an SMG and hit 1 to 3 shots and kill my opponent. That's what the SMG should be used for. Or my opponent's 3 to 4 boxes away from me, I just hit him 100. I don't want him to heal, and I don't want to spray with an assault rifle. I want to switch the SMG, shoot the wall quickly so he has to stop his minis and hold the wall or whatever. I think that should be the main 2 uses. And I think a way to actually kind of make that happen is you lower the fire rate a bit. Obviously the SMG still needs to shoot fast, but you most importantly lower the magazine size. I think somewhere between 10 and 15 is definitely healthy in terms of how fast something builds, and in terms of how fast you can kill somebody. So sure, you can still kill somebody with a full mag of an SMG, you just have to be super accurate, and it's hard to be that accurate for that long tracking. And so that's why, if you are that accurate, you get rewarded because you can just hop in and spray like that. So there is still that option to dive in the box with the SMG, but you can still, it's still a good weapon to switch to, and you can still pressure opponents for it. Now for the assault rifle meta, I would pick 3 assault rifles. I'd pick the AUG, the infantry, and the gray-blue M4. That way we have our spray weapons, which is the gray to blue M4. We have an in-between weapon, which is the AUG, because it's something that you need to be highly accurate for, but you can also kind of break some walls a bit, and there's a little bit chance for some bleed damage, which is fine. And then we have the highly accurate highly rewarding but super risky infantry. 8 bullets, you know, you have to carry an SMG, which means you lose out on another loadout slot, or you don't carry an SMG and now it's the risk if someone gets in your face with a TAC or an SMG, you have nothing to switch to. Like, you're gonna have to switch to the infantry, which is huge bloom when it's hip firing up close. So I just think that's a nice balanced, you know, kind of 3 sections there. So next we're gonna be going to the sniper meta, and we have really 2 of them. Or just one little note is I do think purple to gold snipers is a good addition. I think that's a smart idea to have in the game. I just don't think they should drop it a god chest, because if you open a god chest right now, it's like 100% chance to get a sniper. I either get a sniper or a ranger. That's it. I never get anything else. So I don't know what the percentages are, but to get like a striker or a drum, it's fucking impossible. So I think purple gold snipers only come out of supply drops, because when you go for a supply drop, you don't think, I'm gonna upgrade my shotgun. The whole reason you're going there is to get launch pads. Like, you want that launch pad. You don't give a shit about what, you know, whatever the weapon is, you know, whatever, you know, upgrade yippee, but you really just want the launch pad. So I think just having the chance to get the sniper is a good addition, and I think it'll also be good to have it maybe, you know, an edge drop has a chance where you can buy, if you complete a challenge or something, you might be able to get a gold sniper. And I do think the sniper should hit for 200 damage, just because that is a nice addition. It does keep people on their toes when they're peeking out of a box. So I'll be right back with the rotates meta. Alrighty, let's move on to rotates and what I think the best rotate meta would be for competitive Fortnite. So just to start it off, let's talk about some natural rotates. This is something like geysers, wind tunnels, you know, rifts, updrafts, something that we've seen in previous seasons. Maybe there's a wind tunnel in the main place, or loot lakes, you know, how the island was up and there was an updraft. Something like that in the middle, and then rifts on the edge with maybe geysers as well spread throughout. Something where it's just, you know, you can get there and then naturally get to zone, and it's not just RNG. That way it does reduce, you know, where zone pulls. So if you're in logjam and zone pulls all the way down to chonkers, your game's not fucked, and it won't be the hardest game ever. You can still make it to zone, you just have to utilize the natural rotates to get there in order to get a good position as well, you know, speed up your loot and all that stuff. And I also want some more item rotates. So I do really like peppers. I don't think they should spawn all in one POI. I think they should be more spread out around, where it's like, okay, I just got 4 peppers. Do we use them now? But I do think maybe they only spawn in one POI. It's either they spawn everywhere or just in one place. And there's not like, you know, you won't be leaving with, you know, 38 peppers. You'll have like I don't know, like 12 or 10 or something like that. That way you land there, you win the POI, and what you get for winning that POI is, first off, you win it and you have all the loot, but you also have the peppers. Now I do like chili chugs as well. I think chili chugs were a really good addition. If they were too broken, so chili chugs and splashes are kind of, you know, it's like, I don't like having both of them in the meta. So maybe the chili chugs just don't heal. They don't give you shield or health. Instead, they're just like a squad-based rotation item. And maybe, again, they spawn in all god chests, so you don't just get one sniper, because I swear to God, all you get is a sniper from god chest. So maybe they spawn in there, and you can get them instead of a weapon, or maybe you get a weapon and them. I don't know. Somehow add it into the meta where you can get chili chugs that may or may not heal. Now, I also like the bouncers. I think bouncers were very, very healthy. I think they were very balanced. It was, you know, if you use a bouncer and use it incorrectly, you're going to get absolutely lasered in the air, because when you bounce across, you go slower than if you were falling. So I think that was a balanced addition. And you can also use them really well in terms of rotating, you know, if you time it correctly so you don't get lasered out of the air. Now, note here, I would be fine with maybe 1 or 2 seasons without launch pads, just to see if the meta would be more or less RNG. If we have a lot of natural form of rotates on the map, then, you know, I would think it would be less RNG, because the biggest RNG spots are, you know, where does zone pull. And if, you know, if peppers are within chili chugs, and it's like you have the ability to get to, you know, half, first, second, all the zones, and by either using natural rotates or item rotates, then having launch pads is kind of like a bailout, and it could be more skillful in terms of positioning and rotates if we remove them. But it also could be less skillful, and it could make just zone RNG even more stronger. So that's just kind of something I think might be interesting to add. Now we're going to move on to heal meta. So for shields, minis, bigs, chug splashes, kegs, and then noms, which is like the coconuts, slurpfish, mushrooms, all that shit. Next is white heals, med kits, med mist, guzzle juice, and then noms again. So I don't think we need band-aids. I mean, the only time I ever see band-aids used is when you're in Storm, because you just fought all the kids that just keyed you in Storm, and then you're running, and then you just like ran past this chest, you open it and you get 5 band-aids and you pick it up because you don't have any of it. But they aren't used like in the normal sense, so I don't think we really need them. Then for fish and items, floppers, jellyfish, shieldfish, slurpfish, 0-point floppers, rift fish, spicy fish, and snowy floppers. So we have all the normal fish, and then we also have the chance for kind of like the crazy fish. So what I was thinking with the crazy fish is that you can only fish them up with a pro fishing rod. So maybe, let's say Loot Lake is still in the middle and the water around Loot Lake is purple because, like, you know, the cube and shit. Like, I don't even know the lore, but whatever the fuck's happening with the cube. And when the Loot Lake was purple, it's all purple. And when you fish there, you have the chance to get better loot, maybe. You have the chance to get, and these 4 crazy floppers. Just because it does add some, like, craziness to the game. It's like you could be rotated and then someone 0 points into your box, and it's like fuck, like that sucks, sure, but it's like they land there and they fish it up, and it's like they want to use that over a mini, or they want to have that over a sniper or over an SMG or whatever. So there's some like risk and rewards, and I think it just, you know, leaves the chances for some fucking crazy outplays, which are really what keeps Fortnite going. Because, like, you know, imagine if Savage didn't have that shadow bomb to get up the side of the mountain. If he didn't have that, then we wouldn't have that play. So I think having these kind of crazy items are always good to have. Now the shadow floppers, I didn't include that because they're fucking broken, and we had the huge shadow issue in the alien season, and I don't want that again. Now for other items, these are items I think it should 100% be in the game. Harpoons are so balanced. You can use them on low ground, you can use them on height, you can use them for refresh, you can use them to get into the box, you can use them to fish. There's just tons of reasons to use them, and they have their own ammo, so it's not like you can just fucking spam with the harpoon. Now the pro fishing rod, you would need that to fish up the special fish. So you would need that, obviously. Armored walls, they are in the game, and hopefully they stay in the game because I do like them, and I do think they're a very nice addition. Now I also would like shield bubbles to come back. Now I don't want them to be, you know, half the fucking zone. I want them to be like a 2x2 or a 3x3 at most. That's it. So you throw it down if you're getting lobbied, or if someone's spraying at you, or whatever situation you want to use it, you throw it down, and then, you know, people can still walk in. They can hear the or whatever sound it is when someone walks in, but it's just like a nice little addition that might keep the lobbies a little bit spicy. Now these are maybe ads, is just the impulse grenades, so not the shockwaves, just the impulse grenades, where, you know, you can use them and you can get like a little bit far, like down the road, but if you use them off a mountain, you're dead. So it's kind of like, again, you know, high risk, some reward as well in terms of movement. Now we'll be moving on to the map changes, so I'll be right back with that after I grab a drink of water because my throat is fucking dry. Oh, I missed. Alrighty, here it comes, the map changes. So like I mentioned previous, middle map form of natural rotates. So like the loot lake, the wind tunnels that went around the map, something that is natural, that is in the middle of the map. I think also having edge POIs, having some form of natural rotate is also important, because it's like, sure, you know, if I hit the Steamy Stacks updraft, I won't be launched all the way to middle zone, but at least I'll get far enough where then I can rotate kind of on land, and it's like easier to get there and I won't get fucking held or whatever. So I think that is a good addition. You know, middle map, rotate, edge map, rotate. And I also think it's nice to have NPCs that have maybe some form of get some type of special weapon, item, ability, or some shit like that. I like the idea of bounties. They should stay in the game. Maybe, you know, if there's NPCs that might sell, I don't know, a bigger shield bubble. They might give you ammo. They might give you a gold infantry. They might give you a gold sniper. They might give you the next storm's circle. Something where you can either A, use your gold to get it, or B, you do a somewhat time-consuming challenge. So maybe it's like, let's say you're in Camp Cuddle, and it's like cut down 15, 20, 30 trees, and you'll see the next zone. So it's like you can do this challenge, especially if you have zone. So it's an option. You can do this challenge if you have surge, you have zone, and you can figure out where next zone goes and then go position there. But at the same time, you're losing out on, if you don't have surge, if, you know, how do you know if somebody, maybe you see next zone's going to pull on the shifty mountain? How do you know that someone's not already on the shifty mountain? Sure, you have that information, but now you have to get there late. So it's kind of like that pros and cons mix that I think would be, you know, just keep the game kind of like spicy and interesting. So what is my overall reasoning for everything I've mentioned so far? So I would like a competitive meta where everyone just isn't doing the same thing, where winning the POI doesn't give you such a huge advantage like Command does, like the Collider now does, like Stark Season did, or like when the Mythics had like the, what is it called? Kitty Corner? Caddy Corner. So a POI where it does give you an advantage, but it has drawbacks, where there's other POIs that give you other advantages. So let's say you land in the middle loot lake, and there's an NPC there that if you do a challenge that you, I don't know, maybe you do 200 shotgun damage to players. So first off, you have to be con there to get the best shotgun, and you have to do 200 damage to players to get the mythic shotgun, some shit like that. So you get the mythic shotgun, but you have to be contested, and you have to do shotgun damage to get it. Now on the Edge POI, we have Pepper Paradise, and Pepper Paradise, you have to run around the whole POI twice, like a race. So you have to run fast, and maybe you slide or do some fucking certain route through buildings or some shit where you have to do it in under 30 seconds or a minute, and then you get chili chugs, or you get 10 peppers or some shit. So sure, now you have better rotates, but you don't have the 200 pump. But now the 200 pump person doesn't have the rotates, so it's kind of like some are good somewhere and some aren't good somewhere else. And I also think that like the NPCs would be nice, and I also like the idea of fishing. I think fishing is really like underrated and should definitely be a better addition to some splits and POIs all over the map. So something that is, you know, like you land loot lake, and then there's the purple stuff, and you fish up that shit, or the fishing just gives you stronger weapons, better loot, or whatever, just to make it so you know not everyone has the exact same loadout. Like people can carry other shit, because I find like if you look at League of Legends or Valorant or any of the other competitive games that have like a lot going on, like you can play League and you can play somebody that fucking sucks and everyone hates, and you can get really high, or you can completely change the competitive meta and do something everyone thinks is impossible, like the Cray strat, for example. And you have that option of fucking doing whatever you want and actually succeeding with it, and I really like that in terms of the creativity and a competitive game mode. Now I did miss this in the map changes, so I'll go back. I think they should also add more splits, some more like landmarks, so like Tomato Town, the castle that was on the right, John Wick House, Camp Cod, and like more like unnamed splits and or landmarks that have loot, just so the map like has way more loot, so there's more chances for people to do like a commie split somewhere. I just think that's like a good addition. More loot means less people contest it, which means less RNG. So I think that just is a nice change. So next we'll be going into the arena changes, which I think is also very important, and this is more outside the actual item-based meta in the map and everything, and more of, you know, what can we get to get more competitive people playing and more people playing competitively, which is important. So yeah, I'll be right back with that. Alrighty, now we're going to be moving on to the arena changes. All these changes kind of connect together, by the way. It's like, you know, we have the weapon meta, the item meta, the rotates, and the map meta, and then now we have arena, which will obviously impact tournaments, because ideally arena and tournaments will have the same meta. So first off, let's just talk about the game modes. So before we actually dive into arena, so zero builds should stay in the game. I think it's a great game mode to casually play, if you like Fortnite but you don't like the building, or even if you like Fortnite and you like the building and you just want to play the shooting aspects with your friends who don't play often. I think it's a great casual game mode. I think it'll be very hard to make competitive, and is kind of taken away from the point of the game mode. It's just supposed to be less sweaty, less, I don't want to say skillful, because aiming is skillful, but less building and more aiming. Now, the purpose of public game modes, I think they should remove skill-based matchmaking. That shouldn't be in the game. In pubs, I think it barely works anyway. We get people who are average, above, or whatever. When I play solo pubs, I played with Ship before, who has like a cajillion, like I think he has the most wins ever, and we get players who are bad. We get poor players in our lobby, and I just think that it's like, it's barely fucking working. What's the point of having it in? You might as well throw it out, see if I can get matched with Ninja or somebody. But I think this should be the main game mode that has all the fucking stupidly wacky items, like boom boxes and airplanes and helicopters and mechs and the sword and fucking shit like that. That should be in this game mode, and zero builds should have it as well. So those two are kind of like the wacky casual game modes. Now I think Siphon should not be enabled in pub matches, but I do think faster harvesting should be, because the point is that arena will become the competitive driven meta, and it will be so focused on competitive that it will be like if you want to casually, like if I'm a competitive player and I want to casually play Fortnite, I want to go to zero builds, creative, or pubs, and I don't want to play arena because arena is like ranked. I have to get it, I have to warm up, I have to practice, I want to get better, I'm playing ranked. So it's not like the place to casually sit back and do because you'll have to try at it. That's kind of the goal. So I think this is a good addition, is that we also bring back late game arena. Now, this is a game mode that gives competitive players an option to skip over the loot and all that shit and get straight to the end game. Of course, you know, in public matchmaking lobbies of late game arena, everyone will W key. It's literally like my trio, we would land on somebody off the rip and just like just 3v1 them. So there's going to be non-stop fighting. Keep the lagginess, you know, keep whatever this meta is. You can either keep it as crazy as pubs, which probably isn't good, or you can have it like the arena game mode, which would probably be preferred for the second reason of why I think they should bring back late game arena. It also is an amazing option for custom tournaments. So we had the Booga late game tournament, which was so much fun, because you skip all the loot and you just go straight into the end game. And it also is good for exclusive end game oriented scrims. So maybe they raise it so now you know, move in zone hits. Yeah, 60 players are fine, honestly. 60 players move in zone, you spawn in, you have a minute to kind of, or like 30 seconds to base up, and then surge starts and then the game is on. And that's it. And that's kind of like, I think that's just really good to practice your end game without having to go through, okay, you land, you win your POI, now you have 10 minutes where you have to, you know, just, you're not allowed to shoot each other until surge pops, so you just run around, you know, fucking around, and then you get griefed, and then, you know, whatever happens. Now, if late game arena was taking away players from arena, because at this point, you know, late game arena would be more like casual with the chances of being competitive as well, a little bit, but it wouldn't be as competitive as arena. So if late game arena is sucking all the players away from arena, and this is actually a competitive good game mode, then there should be some type of implementation that reduces that. So I think maybe late game arena only comes back on weekends, so only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That way, Monday through Friday, we still have arena, and that's where you can grind or whatever, and you can still play arena on the weekends if you want. But late game arena is also back if you want to casually play, but in a competitive setting, if that makes sense. So it kind of reminds me of like double XP weekends. Sure, you can play multiplayer throughout, you know, the whole week, but if I hop on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I play my fucking heart out that day and pop off, then I will earn more. So it's kind of like, you know, you can play late game arena, it's almost rewarding, it feels nice, you know, you're excited to play on the weekend because now you have something to play for. So now, I know I didn't really talk about arena yet, but we're going to hop into arena like right now. So let me go grab another drink of water before we hop into this. Alrighty, here we are in arena. So the very most important thing is that no matter what you change in arena, people will always W key. Kills can be worth 0 points and people will still push you in storm. It doesn't matter. Pushing people and fighting is more exciting and more fun to play than playing for placements. That's why a lot of people push. That is fine. I don't think anything should change in terms of arena until you reach Div 10. So this is, you know, we're saying div, I think it's div 10, whatever div, it's like where you stop like getting points towards the div and it just says Champions League and you just have like 30k points. So at div 10, I think kills should be worth 5 points. This is in solos, duos, and trios. So 5 points or maybe 10 points in solos because solos is hard. And I think placement points should be increased by a ridiculous margin where it's like placing top 10 but getting 10 eliminations. They're like not even close. Like it's like, sure, you get 10 eliminations and people of your own skill level, which is difficult because if I'm playing in the lobby and everybody is actually of my skill level, it's gonna be hard for me to get 10 kills. So it's gonna be like, you know, why would I want to push people where I might not win the fight, and if I don't win it, it's like because they fucked me up or I fucked up. So it's still a learning experience. I can still get better from it. But I can just play for placement, play a little bit more safer, and see if I can end up winning the game at the end, which is what your goal should be in tournaments. Because having a big W key game isn't needed in tournaments, but that's like a separate issue that we won't talk about in this video. So I think bus fare, this is another change, should be cheapest when you play solos or duos, depending on what that FNCS is. If it's duos, then it's like, okay, make it the same like bus fare, a little bit more expensive than solos, but it shouldn't be too expensive. And trios or squads, if they ever add that, you know, dear God, I hope not. But if they ever add squads arena, then that will be the most expensive. That way, you know, you won't have the fucking 24-hour arena grinders all playing together. They're all playing trios and they're getting fucking 4,000 points a game because it's just, you know, the bus fare is fucking nothing. So I think that's just a nice little addition, and you can still play together, but you just have to play better if you're going to play with people. Now, I think a new tab should be added somewhere on the main screen that says Arena Leaderboard. We already have something like that, I think. I haven't looked at it since they added it because I just don't care. I mean, it's like, yippee, and yeah, you're at the top, nice, like, cool, good for you. Because at this point, I mean, Arena is just pubs with Siphon, so it's like, if you're a better than average or a good player, then you should be, if you, it's less of skill and more of you just have the time to grind, and that's it. So I think an Arena Leaderboard is added somewhere else that shows the top players with the most hype. It's already added somewhere. I think the top 100 players will receive an exclusive skin with 3 styles and all rewards below. The skin changes each season. So let's say this season I'm, you know, number 88 and I get this skin with 3 styles. Next season it could be a girl skin, alien skin, it could be anything. It's just a different skin in general with different styles and different, all the rewards are different. Now, most important, the skins will not ever be reintroduced. This way it adds like that limited edition, like if I get top 100, I get this in all 3 styles. If I'm in a tournament lobby and I see Booga running around and he has this skin with that special style, I'm fucking, you know, running in the bush. I'm fucking out of here. I don't want to see any of that. But it's just like, it's more like ooh, look at me, I got this rare ass shit, look at me. It's like wearing Gucci or some fucking expensive ass shit. So I just think that's a really good way to kind of push people to get to kind of the top 100 players. And I think, you know, making kind of Arena less like, obviously the more time a player has, the higher up they'll be, but there's chances for people who play 4 to 6 hours a day, and if they play games and they're playing 10 games, they're winning 8 of their games, they can fly up and be at the top without having to put in, you know, 10, 12 hours or whatever these crazy arena grinders are doing. Next, we have top 500 players. These players will receive the same exclusive skin, but with 2 styles. Top 1,000 players will receive the exclusive skin and 1 style. Top 2,500 players will just receive the skin. Top 5,000 players will receive a pickaxe. And these are good skins and good pickaxes. I don't mean fucking Ragnarok and Brutus combined together and the skin is the size of your screen and it's fucking horrible for competitive. I mean a nice, good skin that's going to be something people want. So an anime skin, I don't know, one of those girl skins or a superhero, some shit like that, that is a sweaty skin that people will wear. So that's important. Or like the male skins, like we have Skull Trooper, Kylo Ren, I'm trying to think of other skins, fish sticks, like shit like that. This male superhero, some skin that people will like and people will wear. This goes the same with pickaxes, and all of these should be competitive driven kind of cosmetics that are like, if I don't give a shit about competitive meta, I'm not going to wear the superhero skin. It's gray. It's ugly. I'm going to wear the fucking Brutus, gold Brutus skin because I think it's funny. I'm going to wear the banana skin because it rots throughout the game. Some shit like that. So next, the top 5,000 players will receive a pickaxe. I think I already said that. Top 7,500 players will receive an emote. I mean, like, this is like, you get an emote, like, that's cool. Maybe it's something a little toxic, like a waggy, something that's toxic, kind of similar to the take the L or the laugh it up. So you still want it, so you still want to go for it, but it doesn't really matter. Then the top 10,000 players will receive a loading screen. Because being in the top 10,000, that's good. You know, like, awesome, good job. But it's like, it's not as good as the other stuff. So it's like, you still should get something, but it shouldn't be that important in some sense. Some people care about their loading screens. I don't, but that's just, you know, a side thing. Next, I think they should add certain tournaments that are limited to the top levels. So not only will Arena be something that the average or the above average or even the above average player will play, but it's also something that the tier 1s to tier 3 pros will also play. Because if there's limited tournaments that run that are only for the top 100 players, let's say if you get top 100 by 2 weeks into the season, we're going to have the first tournament ever, 2 weeks into the season, top 100 players play it only. It's going to be on Saturday at a time people can play, and that's it. And it's like, you're going to want to be the top 100 players. So you're going to want to grind as soon as the season drops and get there so you can play in that tournament and be the top 100 players to earn money, placements, skin, PR, whatever the fuck it is. You earn in something and then boom, you're there. So I still think FNCS should be Champion League. I think it should be once like Div 9 and up. If you get the champs, then you should be rewarded with FNCS. You know, the format can be whatever. This video isn't about the format, just about, you know, whatever that is. And maybe there's, you know, a top 5,000 players tournament where you earn PR or you earn fucking bragging rights or some shit like that. Now, to reduce queue times, because this is the biggest thing, is that you have to find a way to match players where A, it'll be challenging, and B, it'll be like also like challenging, and the queue times will be decently fast. Okay, I play League of Legends a lot. Let me reposition here. I play League a lot, and I'm fine waiting 2 minutes, 3 minutes for a queue. That's fine. But when it gets to like 5 minutes plus, it's like, Jesus fuck, like, is this queue ever gonna pop? Like, I'm fine waiting a bit for queue. Like, the queues don't have to be 20 seconds. They can be shorter, and that's completely okay. I've waited 15 minutes for a queue playing with friends late at night on a game mode that doesn't get a lot of people. And sure, it kind of sucked if you did poorly that game, but it's kind of like, you know, that's your risk of being at a late time and playing with an odd amount of people or some shit like that. So I think to reduce queue times, Div 9 players, so once you get to champs, should be matched with players all the way up to top 7,500. Now, obviously, if you're, you know, the 7,500th player, the priority for matchmaking should be any players within your division, then the top 10,000, and then if you have like 90 players that are in those two spots, then it's like, okay, then it gets filled with Div 9 players, and now you have 10 of those players. I mean, realistically, those Div 9 players aren't going to make it to the end game if everyone else is way better than them, and those are just the people that are just like on the cusp of Div 10 or something. So it still like makes sense in some like situations. You have people, because if you think about a battle royale lobby, you know, 10% of the lobby, so the top 10 should be better than everyone below, because that's kind of how it works. Like, you either get lucky or you're better, and that's kind of it. So if you're the top, if you die off spawn, it's because you fucked up your drop, you missed your gun, whatever happened, you died off spawn, you didn't deserve to get first, or you lagged, and what, you know, all those other reasons. So then I think the top 100 players should be matched with all the way up to top 5,000. Obviously, the difference between top 5,000 and top 100 seems like a pretty big margin, but if this game mode brings back players and we get 20,000 people playing in FNCS, then I honestly think even the tier 1 pros will struggle with someone who's trying their hardest, and that's a top 4,000 player. They'll win the fight, but it'll at least be challenging. And the most important thing is that it's still a learning experience. That player who lost can still go in the replays and go, holy fuck, that was Booga. I cracked him a few times. He still won the fight, but at least he had to turn his brain on to think. And he didn't have to just out of the window and pump me in the face because I don't even know what universe I'm in. So I still think that's a good idea to have. And obviously the top 100 players, you know, if they all queue at the same time, then they'll all get together. But, you know, what are the chances of that happening? But again, the queue time should be top 100. You know, they first go top 500, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, and then, you know, the lobbies go, and then you start. Now, my overall reasoning for the arena changes, and this will be the last section before I end the video. So people will W key no matter what. I've already said that at the beginning, and the only way to incentivize these players is to make it hard for the average and or above average and or above average player to W key easily without thinking. And there also should be a reward for reaching the top. So if you're a good player and it's like, fuck it, like, I don't give a shit. Like, once I get the champs, I don't give a shit about my points. I can stay above 10k points. I never have to drop low because I'll always net 10, 100, you know, 200 points. I can just fucking chill back here and turn my brain off and dive into a box and hopefully I win. But in this game mode, you wouldn't be able to do that, because if you don't win, then you lose points, or you go down a position. Let's say I'm top 100, I net even in 5 games, but the guy below me, he's fucking popping off. He just fucking won his 5 games. Now he's like miles ahead of me, and everyone else is catching up, and then you get pushed out. Then you realize, okay, now I'm in top 150. I have to start sweating now and start trying to get back up. And that's the whole point, is that we want people to try when they play arena. We want it to be sweaty, and we want it to be frustrating when you lose, because you want to get better. That's what we want out of an arena, out of a ranked game mode, and that's what we really need in Fortnite. Now, that incentive, like I mentioned, is something limited that will never return to the item shop. This is a bragging right. I already mentioned this. All competitive game modes have some sort of bragging right. I mean, in League, if you get Challenger, at one point you got jackets, you got shoes, you got, if you're ranked 1, if you're ranked 1 in League, like, I'm pretty sure people get paid in the Korean servers of League of Legends to stay ranked 1. Someone's job is to fucking play ranked and stay ranked 1. like, I can see that in Fortnite. I can see some fucking organization saying, hey Bronos, if you stay rank 1 and you have our name in your title, in your name, I'll pay you 5k a month or some shit like that. I can see that happening because Fortnite's such a huge game with all the potential marketing and stuff like that. That could be a thing. And then the other incentive I have is that if you don't give a shit about cosmetics, but you do care about competitive in the tournaments, then you want to get top 100, you want to get top 5,000, so you can play in those exclusive tournaments, play in those end games, play against pros, play to earn placements, earnings, PR, whatever the fuck you earn. And this tournament incentive and the skin incentive might be big enough to keep the tier 1 to tier 3 pros playing arena as well. So think about it. If Clix hops on, he's doing an 8-hour stream, he's playing arena, he's having fucking fun, he's enjoying it, he's going up against good players, he's getting better at the game. All of his viewers that are watching him, you know, what does he get, like 10k views? All of his viewers are watching him thinking, fuck, I want to get better, I want to be as good as Clix, whatever. You know, a lot of people probably watch Clix for how good he is. Actually, I guess some people would watch for his personality, which is funny sometimes, but this is kind of a side note now. But they say, man, I want to play arena. They hop in arena, they play. Or maybe, you know, what happens if you're a top 500 player and Clix is top 10 or top 20 or some shit, and you want to face him in a game. So you get to top 100, you notice he's playing, you guys are in the same fucking game. Now you're like, well shit, I'm literally up here with the fucking big dogs, up here running up in the arena. Now you can go up against Clix to see if you're gonna get shit on or not. And obviously not stream sniping, it's just, you know, you have a higher chance if you're better at the game and you're higher up in the lobby. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think. If any of this is bullshit, you think it's a horrible addition, whatever. I'm definitely up for discussion. Actually, I would love a discussion, so reach out to me either in the comments or message me on Discord. My Discord is 6 as in the number, IX, hashtag or number sign if you're older, 8813. That is my Discord. Reach out to me, say you're from this video, whatever. And I don't know what I'm going to use for the background footage because this is a lot of shit, so I'll probably just use some pro playing in some replay, playing in some tournament or some shit. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment below. Let me know if you have any other topics you want to talk about. And yeah, cheers.